In change lies the force for good.
Now that we've seen the crown, can you picture it on anybody's head?
The new Miss Universe crown is the force for good crown.
The MOUAWAD force for good.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are going to share our thoughts. We both have different opinions about it. I'm going to start out by saying I personally love it. It is definitely more flashy for Miss Universe. It's a lot for what Miss Universe usually puts out for a crown. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I will also say when the MOUAWAD, oh my gosh, I can't remember what the other crown was called, that Zosie won in, I thought it was beautiful, but I thought it was underwhelming because I thought it was smaller. But when they put it on her head, do you remember how perfectly it just like
did, yeah.
fit her head? It looked amazing. Everything came together. So I feel like the message of the crown talks about resistance to change. I feel like whenever there's a new crown, a new organization, a new something, the loudest opinions are those who don't like it or who are resistant to the change.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's just the way it is with anything in the world, you know. It's, you look at reviews and how often do people say like, oh, this is the best product ever. Like instead it's, this has made my life terrible. And like people who are most resistant have the loudest voices, it seems. So like I think it's really cool. I think the story behind it is really cool, like the force for good with the royal blue sapphire on top.
I love it.
I think it's pretty cool. I do like the blue. I think that it has like a traditional type look to it. I really like the story.
Me
like
too.
The story.
I like the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that with the new organization, we now have a new crown that is talking about change and sustained change. And an interesting point, I just want to, before I forget, when Pia won, she was wearing a royal blue dress, and the crown that she was crowned with had the blue, it must have been a sapphire.
Yeah.
And so now I'm wondering how many countries are going to not necessarily wear a royal blue gown, but something that would complement and look good if they were to be crowned in this dress.
Yeah.
Silver, something like that. I feel like a lot of times the top 5 you see a lot of gold sparkly. I feel like that might change. There's gonna be like silver sparkly and royal blue because they're like, I want the crown to look good on me.
For sure. You got to be thinking about these things right going into, if you don't think you can wear the crown at the end of the night, then like why are you even on stage, you know?
Right, yeah. You know the experience.
It does remind me a little bit of like when the Miss Universe is going to be crowned on January the 13th,
Yes.
how there'll be some resistance to her,
whoever wins.
to her winning, because it's a subjective thing. Like go back to like a sports reference, like it's not like it's a game where two teams are playing and like team who wins has the most goals or has the most points is something that is subjective and
It's opinion.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so interesting when people will battle in the comments of our videos or say like, you were wrong, like about our predictions. It's like, well, that's what we thought. And
For
like
sure.
that's what our opinion was, and like who stood out and resonated with us. And I mean, from my experience of competing in the pageants too, is like you would have your personal favorites were the girls that you would connect with as friends. So of course you're rooting for your friends, and yeah, it's all very subjective. So 100% every single time a new Miss Universe is crowned, there's always people who are like
resistance.
Yeah, because they're like, well, my country should have won, or this woman should have won.
Yeah, my
every
country
time.
walks way better. My country has way better speaking skills.
Every time.
Yeah, my country is way more photogenic, you know, so on and so forth. So now that we've seen the crown, can you picture it on anybody's head?
That's a good question, actually. I mean, USA jumps to my mind because of like you saying USA and then me envisioning, could I see her being crowned? You know what I mean? So I've already tried to envision her being crowned. Could it be on Philippines, Thailand, Venezuela, Argentina, France? I don't know. It's so hard to say.
It's hard to say, but
Mexico.
It is funny, like back in when we were there in 2019 and Zosie won, I didn't really like that crown that much for like, and then once it like was on her head, I fell in love with it. Type of thing.
I know,
like, it
right.
was just, so it's interesting. Like maybe, I guess in saying that, maybe my opinion of the crown will vastly change once it's placed on the winner's head, and it's like, oh yeah, that looks right. That looks good. Maybe it's gonna grow on me too. I don't know. I think like initially, I don't know like why I'm trying to like decide, because it is beautiful. Like I don't know, maybe I'm just like resistant to change. I'm just,
Probably.
I don't like change.
Oh my gosh. The crown itself is like a $6.5 million crown or something like that, which is crazy and not surprising, seeing as it was like 47 karat blue sapphire or something. And then what I thought was funny is the base here that looks like a tiara to me, with all the diamonds. They said the diamonds represent the status quo. And I thought that was so funny because I'm like, okay, I guess diamonds are they kind of like, not average, but like the blue sapphires are above the diamonds. And we really like the twisting on the bottom representing the serpent heads, and then that the waves still overpower those who are resistant. So I love the symbolism. I really do, because I think as well Miss Universe with the new organization is one thing, but Miss Universe itself is really trying to showcase like the greatest platform for women, something, because what does it say on the website now? It doesn't say confidently beautiful, it says the greatest celebration of women or something like that.
I think that's right.
They're very much trying to showcase that like these women are a force for change, a force for good, and really trying to showcase that it's more than beauty, it's more than confidence. These women are actually changing the world around the world.
New ownership, new direction, new crown, new winner.
Yeah.
New venue.
Yeah.
New host.
I'll never forget when Diana Mendoza, when she was crowning Miss Universe 2009, who was also from Venezuela, the only back-to-back, Stefania, she dropped the crown.
Really?
She like threw it on her head. She like got so excited. I think it was that year.
Yeah.
But can you imagine just like tossing a $6.5 million crown?
No.
Like, would it break?
I mean, like, it looks pretty, like, delicate and, like, intricate. Like, it doesn't look like it could survive a drop onto a hard stage, but hopefully you don't have to find out, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Hopefully
Seriously, hopefully there'll be more.
Careful.
I've also heard, I don't know if this is true, I've also heard that the new owner is going to be the one to crown.
Interesting.
I don't agree with that.
No.
I will say. How weird is that? I don't like that.
Yeah, it seems like it's breaking, like, some major tradition.
Yeah,
because you're not,
that just, no. I don't, I mean, I don't, that could just be a rumor, but, like, the outgoing Miss Universe should be passing the crown. That's exactly what it's called, passing the crown.
Exactly. Yeah,
like, passing the...
Yeah, the torch.
Yeah, the baton.
Yeah.
The torch, the baton, the crown.
For sure.
We'll see if that happens. I feel like that should not happen. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys will let us know what you think of the crown in the comments.
So we could babble on and on about our opinions on the crown, comparing it to the other crowns. I will say this is one of my favorites. Before we started the video, we were talking about the Mikimoto crown. That's like a fan favorite. I feel like that's kind of like the ultimate Miss Universe crown according to most of you guys. And I don't know what it is about that one. If it's elegance, it's simplicity.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about the Mikimoto that people love so much. I personally love it as well. I'd say the Mikimoto and maybe even this one might be two of my favorites.
I mean, the Mikimoto is just, it's like unique and iconic, I think.
Yeah, with the pearls.
Yeah. And it is interesting. Like maybe like the same people who don't like this crown right now, maybe in 20 years they'll look back and like this, they'll be speaking of this crown the same way that they speak of the Mikimoto one right now.
That's true.
It just, it's hard to introduce something new and have everybody love it right away. It takes time for it to grow on people, basically.
Well, anyway. I can't wait to see this crown sitting on the new Miss Universe's head in just a few weeks now. So if you want to see all of our videos leading up to then, our predictions, our standouts, our discussions about the women arriving, which is going to be happening so soon, make sure you hit subscribe and you'll be notified when those videos come out. And when should we do our first live?
When everybody's getting there, I think.
Yeah.
Most girls are arriving, a lot of conversation at that time.
Yeah.
A lot of things to talk about, so that's got to be right away, is it not? Like, they're there around New Year's, I guess, and they're like 2 weeks out, which is like a pretty standard time.
Yeah, true. So yeah, maybe just before. Anyway. If you guys know when they're arriving, let us know in the comments, and absolutely let us know what you think of the new crown. Force for good.
Force for good.